Hello everyone, so today we are solving this problem maximum XOR for each query. So you're given a sorted array nums of n non-negative integers. All the values in the array are the non-negative and an integer maximum bit. So they are given one integer called maximum bit. So you want to perform the following query n times. So there are two queries based upon this array. So number one is find a non-negative integer k such that k is less than 2 to the power maximum bit, this number, right? So if we make the 2 power of this number, whatever value comes, it should be lesser than that. Okay, this k should be smaller. So we have to choose such k such that if we do the XOR of all the numbers in the array and XOR with the k, that k value that we're gonna pick should produce the largest value. So we should pick the k in such a way that this will maximize the overall XOR. Okay, so that is the one query, and the second query is remove the last element from the current array nums. So once we are done with this process, we have to remove the last element from this array. Means for the next time we will pick from the remaining elements. You will do XOR of all of them, and then we have to again pick the k that will produce the highest number. So this is what we have to do. For example, let's take an example here. You can see here, this is one num 0 1 1 3 and this maximum equal to 2. So let me tell you about XOR something. If there might be some people who want to refresh this. So if we do the XOR of two numbers, so for example 1 and 1, so if bits are same, then we will put the 0 there. See here, these bits are different. This is 1, this is 0, so we will put 1 here. Here also different, so we will put 1 here. Here also different, we will put 1 here. But here bits are same, so this would be 0. So if bits are same, doesn't matter if it is 0 or 1, then it will always produce 0 only. See here, this is 1 and 1, it is producing 0. This is 0 0, producing 0 only. And if opposite, then they are producing 1. So just want to refresh about this thing. So there is one more property of XOR. Okay, so what that property is, for example, if we are doing the XOR of n numbers, x1 x2 x3 x4 x5 x5, okay, so if we remove one of the number, any one of them, then what would be the XOR of remaining ones? So for example, let's say we are doing x XOR of the x1 XOR x2 XOR x3, right? So if we do like this could be any number, right? It is not necessarily we are stopping here. So suppose this is xn. Okay, so suppose I am removing one number from here. So how would we calculate the XOR? So one way is to calculate XOR of all the numbers starting from first till here xn minus 1, but no, that will take again O of n every time. So overall, so we want to do something. So what we can do is whatever XOR value we have calculated here, okay, so the new XOR value would be whatever XOR we have already. If we do the XOR of this number with the number which we are gonna remove, if we do the XOR with that number, let's say this is xn. So if we remove the xn, right, so we want to get the XOR of these remaining numbers x1 x2 x3 till xn minus 1. So what we can do is whatever value we have here, we will do the XOR with this value, XOR and XOR of this xn, the one which we have removed. So we can get directly the overall XOR of the remaining numbers. So remember this thing as well. Okay, now we are clear with these two concepts. Now we will go to solve this problem. Okay, so let me just clear this whatever is written over here. Yeah, so I am just removing these things. So see here, what is the intuition here to find the values? First of all, anyway we gonna find the XOR value here, whatever would be the XOR value. First of all we have to find the XOR value of all of them. Okay, so what would be the XOR of all of them? So you know, when we will do the XOR of 0 with any number, it gives always the same numbers. For example, if I do XOR with 1, okay, 0 with 1, so it will produce 1 only, because 0 doesn't change if we do the XOR. So till here it would be 1. So then we have to XOR with this guy. So 1 and 1. So if we do the XOR of same number, it always produce 0. Okay, so here is 1, this is also 1, so it will produce 0. Now again, if we do the XOR with any number, so here we have to do the XOR with 3. So this will produce, so see here, till here XOR was value 0. till here it became 1, because XOR of 0 with 1, it would be 1. Now here when we do the XOR of 1 with 1, it will produce 0, right, because same number produce the 0. Now we will do this 0 XOR with this 3, right, so this will produce the number itself, so 3. So we can say that overall XOR value for all the numbers of this array would be 3 here. Now our task is to see here, this is the max bit. Okay, so it says that k should be picked in such a way that it is smaller than 2 to the power max bit. So in this case 2 to the power 2 means k should be between 0 to 2 to the power 2 minus 1, right, 2 to the power 2 minus 1, whatever value it is, right. So it should be 0 to 3. So we have to pick a value like 0, 1, 2, 3, okay, any one. So we have to pick any one of these k such that if we do the XOR of the overall XOR value, it should produce the maximum value, right. This is what we have to do. So let's say I'm putting this value, XOR value, in the binary form. So what I can do is I can write it like this, 0, 0, 1, 1. This is 3, right. Now what we have to do is we have to do another XOR with any one of these these 4 numbers, right, which will produce the greatest value. Now one approach is we can go one by one, but that is not an efficient way, right. We just cannot go to every time, so that is not our intention solution. Then what to do? So we can get one trick here, that our maximum value is 3, right. So we can write this 0, 0, 1, 1, right. This is the maximum value. So guys, you see here, if we do the XOR of any number, any one of them, you look at here, right, these are 2 bits, right, in this case it is 2 bits. So if we reverse these 2 bits, let's say if we had something like this, if we had like this, okay, so if we reverse this and then do the XOR of all these values, this will give us basically the highest value, right. This will produce 1 here, this will produce 1 here, and 0 and 0. So what we got to know here is that if we do the XOR here with the anything which is the reverse of it in the sense like flip of it, flip opposite. For example, if let's say it was something like 0, 1, then flip opposite would be 1, 0. So here the flip opposite, if we reverse the flip, it will give us 0, 0. So here we can pick this guy. So basically we are not choosing here, we are only doing what? We have to find the reverse of whatever number of bits we have, correct. And we know that this k would be having this guy, right. K 3 is the largest value, which can be written like this, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so we got an intuition here that these many bits, whatever number of bits we have set here, these many bits, if we find the XOR, if we find the reverse flip of these many bits, we can get our answer. So how we can get that? So here if we do, you can observe here that we need, if we do the XOR with this number, the greatest value 3, if we do the XOR here 0, 1, 1, oh sorry, yeah, so if we do the XOR here, what it would produce? It will produce 0, 0, 0 and 0. So now you would have got that if we do XOR, it will produce the reverse, and we needed the reverse flip of this. So now 0 is the one pick here, okay, this is the value, so 0 picked here. Okay, now what we will do is in our answer array at very first location, what we will put 0. Okay, now we are looking for this value. We are done with the 0, we have to come here, correct. So when we are coming here, by that time we have to remove this guy, right. We don't have to consider this 3 anymore, because as per the question it is given that once we are done, we have to remove the last guy. So if we want to find the remaining XOR of whatever these numbers, how we can get it? I just told you that we can again do the XOR. So XOR value was 3. So if I do again XOR with this 3, okay, this will give us the remaining XOR value. So 3 and 3, what would be the XOR? Same value, XOR would be 0. So now the XOR of these 3 guys, the remaining guys, is currently coming 0, correct. So we can write this 0 like this, 0, 0, 0, 0, correct. Now what is our intention? We had 2 bits, right, in this our max value. We have 2 bits, so we want the reverse of these 2 bits. We want the reverse flip of these 2 bits. So what would be the reverse flip? How can we get reverse flip? If we do the XOR with this number. You can also observe that reverse flip basically it would be 0 0 1 1, right? Okay, so how we can achieve always, what we have to do is we will again do the XOR with this number, always this number, whatever value this is. So we will do the XOR with this number. Okay, so what it would be producing, it would be 1 1 0 and 0. So what is this value? This value is basically 3. So we will put here 3. Okay, now we will remove this guy as well. Now we are done, we are left with this. So what is the XOR so far? It was 0. So we have removed this guy, so we will do the XOR with this one, right? So we will get the remaining XOR. So what it would be? So if we do the XOR of any number, it will produce that same number only with 0. So 0 XOR 1 is equal to 1 only. So now we have got the new XOR of these two values, the remaining one. So this is our new one. So we can write it something like this. Okay, so let me write it. This is our new XOR value. Now to get the reverse flip, we have to again do the XOR with this value. So this is our 3 only. So here it would be 0, right? Because same bits, but here it would be 1 and other 0. So we get what is the equivalent of it? This is basically 2. So we have to put 2 here. Okay, now we have to remove this guy as well. Okay, so what was the XOR? Our XOR was 1, but we removed the 1. So we have to do the XOR with itself. So 1 XOR 1, it would produce 0, right? So this would be 0. So our new XOR would be 0. So let me make this guy as well 0. Okay, now we have to find the reverse flip of it. So we have to do the XOR with this value, right? So see here, 0 and 1, this would be 1, and this also would be 1, others are 0. So 1 1. So this is 0 0 1 1. So what it is? It is 3 basically. So we will put this 3 here. So this should be our answer, right? Now you would have got it, the basic idea. It should not be like just for the sake of solving a problem of the day. We should understand crystal clearly so that we can take these concepts ahead for our interview purpose or to solve such problems independently. Okay, so let me show you my corresponding code here. So see here what I am doing. First of all, I am just initializing with XOR well. I am getting the XOR of all the numbers of this array, right? And this is my toggle point, the same point, right? The same value which I here, that this will. So max bit was 2, right? So we got this value 2 to the power 2 minus 1. So 2 to the power whatever max bit minus 1. So that I am calling in my function as a toggle bit. Here I am calculating that. Now see here, this is my answer variable, answer array. Now see here what I am doing. First of all, what I am doing, answer I equal to whatever XOR value I have got and the toggle point. XOR of these two would be giving me the value that would produce the maximum. So that is why I was doing here whatever the overall XOR with this toggle point, then we were getting all these values, right? So with this way we will update here, and we have the removal logic as well. So see here I am calculating the remaining XOR, right? So what I am doing, XOR value equal to XOR value into last character. So you can check here, we are starting from I equal to 0. So we are initially removing this guy, nums last one, right? So this nums n minus 1 minus I would be producing the last value that we have to remove every time, and this is our remaining integers XOR value. So after doing this all, we are updating here into the answer, and finally we are returning the answer here. So let me run this code. I'm running the code, yeah, and let me try to submit it. See here, so it is 100% faster. So thank you for watching this video, and if you guys have any concern, please make a comment over there.